Thanks for tuning in to Stark Realities. I know it's been a while since I put up any videos. My apologies for that. I'm hoping to rectify that. I'm in a little different location today than where I typically have done my videos. May or may not stay the same way. I don't know yet. So to get right to it, today I'm going to be reviewing a sword from Albion, specifically the Albion Vigil. Some disclosure about that. Some people may already know. I don't know who. I know I have mentioned it in the past. Over 20 years ago, I did work for Albion. Whether or not that gives me bias, probably does. But I try and be fair and objective when it comes to doing reviews as far as dynamic qualities of a weapon, the quality of build, the aesthetics, everything that goes along with that, just like anybody else. So keeping that in mind, I will be doing the review of the Albion Vigil, knowing how the process goes with how they've made their swords. Some of that's probably changed over the uh, intermittent 2 decades since I worked there, but it does give me a familiarity in regards to how their stuff is made and why it looks the way it looks and functions the way it functions. So here's the Albion Vigil. Single hand Middle Ages arming sword, described as being a Type 10, both on Albion's website as well as by Oakshot, I do believe. I think it could be classified as a Type 12, one, because of the era that it comes from, as well as some qualities of design, primarily the fuller terminations right there. That's about 5+ inches from the tip, which is a consistent design feature of Type 12s. Granted, if both of those fullers were one fuller, it'd be a pretty wide fuller for a Type 12, but I don't think it's completely out of reason to give it that classification. Granted, I'm no Ewart Oakshot or Peter Johnson, so you can take that opinion with a grain of salt as far as whether or not you think that I'm correct in my view on that particular aspect. The era that the sword is typically described belonging to is the 12th to early 14th century. So somewhere between late 1100s through the 1200s into the early 1300s, which would make sense because if you look at the type of swords that were seen as well as discovered from that era, they look just like this, maybe with only a single fuller, but they definitely show this aesthetic. In that regard, as far as Oakshot typologies, this is a Type 2 bow tie cross with a round cross section, fairly robust, really, and a Type I faceted pommel, probably the second phase of design for this type of pommel. A exposed button peen stands just a little bit proud of the pommel itself. Very nicely done. The finish is good on it, as is typical with Albions. They do a fine job in that regard. Leather over cord grip. Don't know if you can see that. There you go. Gives a nice tactile feel to it when you're gripping it. It's a little, for me, it's a little bit of a thick grip, but shows the typical profile taper and swell that you see in so many pieces that Albion produces. It really taking the effort to show that dynamic quality with how a grip is shaped. Fullers are clean and straight. No surprise there. Terminations, pretty crisp. knowing how hard it is to do those terminations, I could tell you that's pretty darn well done. As far as the dating, it probably is because of the piece that this is based on, which is the River Witham sword in the British Museum. You can look that up and look at it, and you'll see this is the River Witham, minus some detail. Uh, One, they don't know what the grip looked like. Grip is gone, didn't survive. Um, Additionally, the River Witham sword has engraving on it, stars and moons and other iconography on one side with Latin or gold inlay. And on the other side is an inscription. If I remember, it's by memory. N-O, 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 maybe with some breaks in there, with some crosses or something like that in there. Very typical for the time period from the late 1100s, where being a knight was very specifically tied to the church as being defenders of the faith. So swords were often left on the altar when someone was knighted, and then they were given that upon their knighting after their vigil as being primary defenders of Christendom. So all of that type of iconography and religious inscription was very typical for swords from that era that they believe that this is modeled after. So specific numbers on this sword: 37.9 inches, 38 inches, 96 centimeters. Blade length is 32 inches, 81 centimeters. Blade width 2.37 inches or 6 centimeters. Center balance, quite close, probably somewhere around here. 4 1/3 inches, 11 centimeters. Center of percussion is 22 inches, 56.8 centimeters, and the approximate weight is 2 pounds, 8 ounces, or 1.14 kilograms. Very light sword, very fast. Lightness is significantly due to the thinness of that blade. Razor thin and razor sharp, which makes sense. Cutting weapon. This is for cutting. You can just see right there how thin the blade is and how much it flexes. You can see the center percussion there. How would this sword be used? Sword and shield, obviously, from the time period. So anything from potentially round shields to kite shields to heater shields. It would have been used in that fashion. I-33, I think this would be pretty darn good for I-33. Very fast. And if anyone's curious, I'm sure someone's going to ask. This is how I hang swords with some thick cord and a nail in the wall. Wood paneling, not drywall. That could turn out badly if you tried that in drywall. Wood paneling, though, I'm not too particularly concerned, particularly something this light. It's not very heavy. My impressions on it is that it was an arming sword for sure. A go to court, walk about town, sidearm of a knight, maybe a noble, someone of means who might be able to afford more than one sword. And this was the one that he would have strapped with all the fixings on it, all of the design and color and what have you. This would be the sword he would go around with, because he would not be planning on encountering anybody wearing a bunch of armor, which this would be useless against mail armor. This would be useless against plate armor, potentially useless against very thick gambesons. So that's my impression of it. Light, fast, useless in the thrust, unless they're like they're wearing a tunic. Like, it would work then. But if they're wearing anything substantial, high probability, short of thrusting at the face, unprotected area of the body, I could see that. But if there's any reinforcement whatsoever, the blade's going to bend. You might get a scratch or nothing at all. But woe betide the person who gets struck with it in the course of being chopped at, or draw cut, slash, what have you. It's going to do a number to you. These brand new are running basically $1,400. Up to 15 if you get the different style grip wrap with the crosshatch and studs on there, plus shipping. So if you are thinking about buying one of these, I hope this helps you at least give you a better taste for what that's going to look like. Oh, that's interesting. It's light coming through the curtains, making a pattern on the blade. Anyhow, I hope that helps. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a while. I hope this was at least somewhat informative. These are quick and dirty reviews. By all means, if you have questions, comments, post below, and I will try and address those as I can. And once again, thank you for tuning in. Those of you who have been looking and waiting, thank you for your patience. Those who have just shown up for the first time, thank you for being here. And I hope to be able to produce more fast and dirty reviews of swords and edge weapons in the future. Take care.